Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome, guys. And once again, just like yesterday, we got a lot to talk about, right? We have a Fed meeting tomorrow, and more importantly today than yesterday, obviously, we have a lot of green present in the market. It's going to be a lot more fun to scroll through charts today than yesterday, I imagine. But welcome, guys. I hope you've all had a great start to your week. Happy Tuesday. I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Tucker and Louie Tuesday. Welcome, Louie. But before we can start cooking for you guys, before we can start talking about the Fed meeting and, of course, all of these green coins right now, all of these green assets, right? Because it's not just the coins, it's also equity markets. I'm going to ask if you guys can smash that like button. And if we cannot do it on a day like today, then when can we do it? When can we smash the like button, guys? But make sure to do that. We will, of course, we will always appreciate when you guys hit the like button, but we'll cook for you today. Regardless, we'll give our thoughts on the market. And of course, Big Daddy Powell speaking tomorrow as well. But to get into, a bit more granular details about so far the way the market is moving, I believe the S&P hit all-time highs today, as did the Dow Jones. I think the NASDAQ is just lagging behind it a touch, but obviously we've seen that bleed over into crypto and Bitcoin as well, right? Bitcoin trading back near 61K. It's up almost 5% on the day. Ethereum, and I see altcoins across the board showing strength and catching a bid as well. I will say we see this quite often, or at the very least, I can kind of mark down on over the last few months where we've seen this, where you have this bearish looking Monday sell-off, especially on altcoins, that eventually does revert into new weekly highs for alts. So I haven't back tested that, but I'm sure if you did, some pretty good long setups can present themselves on an intra-week basis, if nothing else, right? If nothing else. But yeah, altcoins are green today. They're bouncing where they need to be bouncing, and we continue to wait for something like Bitcoin to break out of its market structure. But this is a good start, right? Like, you want to continue to see Bitcoin wrecking through the highs that it sets earlier in the week. Obviously, our last one was at about 68K, so we have made a new high. ETH, you can go when you feel like it, but right now Bitcoin is the star of the show, and that's something that we were talking about on yesterday's stream, that we need Bitcoin at this point to lead the market higher, just based on our assessment of things like ETH, Bitcoin, based on just the general market structure of ETH. It can grind higher, but it's going to need Bitcoin to lift it. And so this is a good start, I think, in that camp and in that regard. But yeah, Bitcoin for me is the story of the day in the crypto land. But there are also some altcoins I know Tucker's going to want to talk about that are up 20 and 25% today. Study strength, study beta that's catching the strongest bid. We will look at those charts, guys. But I'd love to open the floor up, get y'all's thoughts, not just on obviously a very green morning, but of course the Fed meeting as well. Obviously, I was on here with Max and Jack yesterday, so need to get y'all's thoughts on the Fed meeting as well. I know that's not what everybody's super excited to talk about, but I do think it's important, right? I do think, whether they're cutting 25 or 50 will end up being important, even though today, right now, we have very, very green prices across the board. And I think this is a very constructive looking day, especially for some of these altcoins that are really looking to begin trending to the upside. But what are we thinking, guys? And what are we seeing in the markets?
I mean, all I can say is it was written in the stars, man. I'm kidding. I will admit, I was a little worried, right, of this, that we would maybe start, right? But we didn't. We said nope. we're gonna Chad. So that is nice to see. But yeah, quite the New York Open fake out this morning, right? I was marking this out earlier. Here's your, that's 825. So this is your New York Open, right? We pretty big sell off here, right? well, about 500-point sell off, and then nope, we're going up. So we'll see if they can hold it. We can look at some derivatives data later, but yeah, I think overall somewhat, constructively bullish. I will say I'm not really expecting anything super, super sticky in terms of trending until tomorrow, right? Like, it's not like it's worth fading necessarily, but I'm not going to trust too much until we hear from Powell, and until we get the Fed minutes tomorrow. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I like to see the green, but, you know, overall, not a whole lot matters until FOMC tomorrow, right? But we do have dominance chatting, ETH BTC, Sol BTC red, Sol ETH is even red. Our total charts are nicely up. So yeah, I mean, like you were talking about though, Tommy, beta looks great. Pepe kind of is not the best looking of the beta, right? Like you look at some other stuff, you look at Brett, Andy, you go down the risk curve and it starts to look better and better, right? Like Wolf is the one that looks the best, up 26, Andy up 6, Brett up 6, Pepe up 5. So the beta train is doing its job right now with ETH only up 3, right? So yeah, I think that's probably a trend that continues, but it's tough. It's tough when ETH looks like that, like it's also encouraging though, right? Because ETH looks like this, and you've got your beta charts kind of primed, kind of coiling, being led
Playing
by
Wolf.
the riskiest. Yeah, dude, Wolf looks crazy, man. Wolf looks insane. Wolf looks absolutely insane. But yeah, that's kind of first impressions of the market. Obviously S&P up, QQQ green, but what's going on here? Are we green or not? I guess we gapped up and sold it a little bit, but we are green. IWM a nice candle, so we'll see. Equities kind of don't know what to do. I think they're going to wait on Powell, obviously, but yeah, that's kind of my preliminary outlook. I mean, oh man, this chart. I mean, just the most basic TA of all time, right? like you're at support, of course, but this red here is Cheeto in the door if I've ever seen it, you know. I don't know what we want either. Like, do we want this or do we want this? Like what do we want here? I don't really. Tommy, what do you think we want?
I don't know. I mean, you want controlled dollar downtrend rather than just like dollar gap down, because there is a bit of a difference, I think, in kind of how that plays. Because you don't want the USD JPY to just completely nuke off a cliff. We saw what happened when that occurred in August.
Yeah. Damn. That's wild. It just barely broke 140 yesterday. I mean, I think you get a bounce out of it here, right? I mean, but not the best looking chart, I will say. Not the best looking chart.
I'd argue you would need a little bounce and then a pullback. We saw that back in December 2023, last time we were basically at these range lows for the DXY. We kind of bounced off range lows. We got a nice like rally going, and like Bitcoin kind of traded like sideways to up. And then once we hit our pullback, that's when Bitcoin really started going vertical. So I wouldn't mind to see a bounce here on the DXY. I haven't been tracking it as much anymore. It's not as much signal, but I did catch that that relationship when we did bounce off range lows. Bitcoin did start trading pretty well. Halfway through that bounce, and then we saw the pullback, and then it ripped. So yeah. But either way, we'll see. I agree. I wouldn't want to see a complete nuke, because then that's not good. Slow, controlled, maybe downtrend would be better. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a bounce tomorrow. The DXY is always trading very volatile for these FOMCs. So we'll see some price action tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you got a bounce in DXY if they cut 25, right? That would make sense. If the market is trying to price in 50 and they cut 25, you should see a little bit of dollar strength. But it also should be good for risk. So that's kind of a toss up. But yeah, I would expect a little bounce if they cut by a quarter basis point.
Yeah, and a bounce. I mean, I'm not like normally I'm like, oh, I don't want to see the dollar bounce because that usually means it's bad. But lately, I'm noticing that a little bounce in the dollar doesn't hurt. Wow.
boys.
Okay.
Oh, boys,
What do
we
you
are
call that, Louis?
pumping.
Meat stick. We're
You
meat
call that, Louis?
sticking
A
right
meat
now.
stick.
That is a meat stick candle. Look at that 4-hour. Oh my God.
I'm not sure how I feel about us pumping like this going into it, but
They'll probably mean revert it to some degree in Asia, but I do kind of agree with Will. I'd rather like pump now. Just so like we're like here, maybe probably
for the
not all the way up there,
volatility.
but like we're here and then FOMC happens and then you get that.
I
You know,
agree. So at least
rather than like if we were like nuking into FOMC, it's like, yeah, you could get a but that's what
no,
I'm
that
saying.
makes sense. Yeah, especially with alts too, because alts would really, if we were just nuking into it, the alts would really get screwed. But alts look good this morning. They look like they have some life. Looks like they're getting some liquidity injected into the altcoin market, which is great. You love to see it. Things are looking promising here. There's a lot of things lining up. That could mean that we're heading into that part of the cycle where altcoins come back alive.
Yeah, really, really would like to see others break out here, man. Really would like to see that line smashed. Absolutely smashed through. You can draw it however you want, but I mean, you're
Man, I
right
hate
there.
how good FTM looks, but I just can't bring myself to trade it.
How good what?
FTM looks. I just can't bring myself
Oh
to
my
trade it.
God. FTM.
FTM pumps, man.
Wow.
It always goes on these pumps.
Dude, I don't know where these levels are drawn from, but those are old. Those are ancient. Wow, back here, huh? Ancient levels.
Held, respected.
I mean, yeah, honestly, those are pretty clean. Yeah, 65 incoming. Free long. Now, what else do we want to look at? I mean, I guess we have to talk about Wolf. What I know you said you had a fractal. You don't have to show the fractal, but what are you looking at, Tommy?
I don't even remember where I got it from. Like I really don't even remember where I took it from. That's kind of the problem. I'll have to think about it. Yeah, I literally don't remember.
What does it say though? What does it say?
Oh, it says it goes higher, but
But how much higher?
A lot higher.
A lot higher. Okay, there you go. I mean, could you slap it onto something like Andy too? Like, I mean, it feels
It's not as applicable for Andy, but
they look exactly the same, realistically, though. Slight
difference.
I haven't slapped it onto Andy. I probably could.
Wolf had more of a capitulation low there, though. You had that like full deviation.
I mean, it just feels like Andy's like here. Maybe. Depends where you want to. Because they just have such different charts. Like this looks similar, right? But you didn't really have this PA on Wolf. I mean, you kind of did right, you kind of did, but this whole little like bouncy ball thing is real though. So yeah, they both look good though. They both look good. What else? All right, let's
I
just
mean,
look at
we
ETH, man.
basically look at every beta chart.
Yeah.
It's one of those mornings, except for
What
ETH. Don't look at
we have to, Tommy. We must. Where does ETH look like short to mid time frame decent to you? Like what? Like above here, basically.
I mean, really, probably higher than that, but
Higher than that? Where do
probably
you
more
want it?
like above 27,800.
Well, yeah, sure.
But even then, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna take a lot of time before ETH outperforms. Like even if these are the Pico bottom USD prices, I think I would rather be holding just about anything else for a while.
Yeah, I agree because ETH BTC still looks like this.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It just looks so bad.
Well, we've been, one of the things we've been saying is that the fact that it looks so bad isn't explicitly bearish. Like that could just mean that
Yeah.
Bitcoin's about to be that higher.
Yeah, which is
Gonna
what
look
it
the worst at the bottom.
seems. Things do look the worst at the bottom. That is true. Like I guarantee you right here, everybody said ETH is going to literal zero
Yeah.
right there. And then it just did that. So
I still like how the daily RSI looks on it.
what do we got it all pulled up. What am I on the 5-day?
Easy.
The 5-day. Hang
on those nomad time frames.
Yeah. Is this a nomad time frame? I didn't even.
Well, no, he just has some wonky time frames.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. Study the 24-minute.
It's all about the 9-hour.
That's the alpha. The 9-hour? No, Louis. What is the 9-hour?
Yeah. Come on, bro. What you know about it?
I don't know. I mean, what would happen if you bought 30 RSI on ETH BTC every time? Bottom. This was a local bottom.
You ate
This was the bottom.
bottom.
Local bottom. This one, not really, though, right?
Yeah,
this
that one, not really.
This one, I mean,
momentum is shifting lower on ETH BTC within this, whatever you want to call this structure that we've had on it since 2021. There's a pretty clearly defined trend and momentum heading lower, but it's just, it's waiting for, it's either waiting for a bid or about to nuke really hard, right? Like up or down, but also, right, like we can look at the RSI and say, okay, it's pressing up against where we should be creating a div, but at the same time, momentum is trending down.
Yeah, the div is going to get invalidated if you can't put in a little bottom here, right? If you can't bottom here, this weekly div is invalidated for sure. What about the 2-week? I don't know. It feels like a similar structure here to some degree. Like I feel like you're in the last little thing right here. You're gonna put in a little deviation down here, maybe. We'll see. But
yeah, I found some good similarities on the daily.
oh my god, the monthly is terrible. Oh my gosh, dude, that's not good. I don't like that.
The most bullish thing you can do with your ETH is buy anything else with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, I mean, who actually is holding ETH? Like, I'm not holding any ETH. I'm holding Beta, which is performing better.
I think enough people hold ETH that it's like there's not really a rush to allocate to ETH, at least not yet. At least I kind of thought there would be during that whole ETF candle back in was it May, I think? But it's like everybody allocated within a day. We kind of underestimate how quickly everybody can get back in the same boat. At least natives. It's really the bankers and then I think they're proxies for bidding that we need to see tick up more meaningfully for ETH, right? Like you want to see leverage on chain and derivatives like the ETH options market really start to heat up again. And then you want to see CME futures and the spot ETF start to bid it a lot harder. But until then, it's just going to be natives are going to bid beta because I don't think natives have the weight to move ETH at this point.
Look at this guy. Serious bottom signals. Saying ETH BTC is bearish at the bottom. It's been down only for 2 years. BTC about to top out and ETH will outperform. Cope harder. Okay. He literally just said just because it is down a lot doesn't mean it's bearish. But also here's something for you, James. Q4 is usually Bitcoin season to the upside in a halving year and an election year. So I do expect ETH BTC to somewhat go sideways while USD prices are dragged up and then outperform in Q1. So, I mean, go study charts, I guess, right? Market won't pump. Hagrid's energy pumps. Mr. Magoo, I swear to God, brother. I swear to God.
People could say whatever they want about us flooding ETH Bitcoin. We've been doing it for a long time, and it's been in a downtrend. So
yeah,
eventually it'll bounce, but it's fun to make fun of until that happens.
Yeah, I mean, when it does bounce, it's gonna be probably pretty ridiculous. But I mean, you're probably gonna get this, right? Like, I don't know if this is gonna be Q4 or not, but like, it might be Q4 into Q1. It's gonna take a little bit of time though, right? To like do something like that. But you're not going to get the God candle. You're not going to get the God candle until next year. You're just not, right? This happened in February. This happened in April. Like, it's not going to happen. It'll be Q1 to Q2 next year. This thing's going to top out, and that's probably your altcoin top.
Louis saw that, right?
Yeah.
Jesus
Dr. Butters just walked across my screen.
Dude, I know.
Stepped on my keyboard and everything.
Man. I mean, regardless though, like Bitcoin's just going to drag altcoins higher from here if it continues up. So, regardless, I mean, if this pair can continue to bleed, but you know, alts are going to be bottomed way before that chart flips. So, at this point, we're at that value area where it's like either you buy or you got to chase. You know, and that's just what's going to happen. Same way it happened in the middle of the cycle. When ETH came out of the bear market lows, like ETH BTC was still looked like crap, but ETH ran 2 to 3x off the lows while it looked like crap. So that could happen again.
I'm going to continue to beat the drum that it is bullish for altcoins ultimately to have Bitcoin dominance go higher.
Yeah,
sure.
And
problem with it.
From like an immediate term gratification standpoint, people are like, what do you mean it's bullish for altcoins for Bitcoin dominance to go higher? Like, think a little bit broader. Okay, if Bitcoin dominance is going to keep climbing while the Bitcoin USD price can make all-time highs and keep climbing, that just means there's going to be more capital that's eventually going to rotate into alts. Alts can go up with Bitcoin, as we've already seen this cycle. Their drawdowns aren't quite as protected on the way down, so you know, maybe that just means be a little bit more diligent about, you know, risk management and profit taking. But at the same time, it's like you're eventually setting up for more liquidity to come into altcoins the more Bitcoin dominance goes up. And a longer cycle, I would argue, as well. So there's going to be more opportunities to make money.
This is also true. If you pick the right altcoins, Bitcoin dominance doesn't matter. Like altcoins, at least the ones we've been in, have been printing the entire time dominance has been going higher the whole time. Okay. So you don't have to wait for this move to make money on altcoins. You really don't. But this is kind of like ETH and what Jackus was talking about. How you have like your normie resistance and then your origination of the move down, where when this gets flipped, people are like, all right, it's going higher. Like you're going like, I don't know, up here somewhere, right? Like you're just gonna chat. And then you get to the actual resistance, which is the origination of the down move, and that's your top. Right. That's more or less how that goes. But this is a bullish chart, I will admit. I
could see
admit.
levels for sure.
Wait, hang on. There was a hilarious comment. Do I take out a high interest loan to increase my position? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Study Michael Saylor.
Yeah. Study Michael Saylor. No. Probably not.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Never do that ever.
Yeah. All right, Tommy or Louis, I'm pulling you up. What do you got here?
Oh, damn. This is ETH on the daily. You know, that those daily bull divs are important, but what's more important, I think, is the similarities I'm seeing from basically coming out of the bear market lows on ETH with price action versus the RSI. And we're seeing we're seeing those similarities again, similar characteristics of when we got our bottom here before going on basically almost a 3x in price for ETH. We had our downtrend on the RSI, right? We made our capitulation low here in price. We came below the 30 level on the RSI. RSI came back up, kind of retested here at the blue dot. We made another similar low. Basically just missed front running that low. And then we finally got our downtrend break. This was a little like kind of, broke it, came back down, and then really broke it. But once we broke this downtrend for good, price ran 300, 250, like 150, 200% on ETH. And I'm seeing something very similar now with ETH where, we got our capitulation low, we got our yellow dot, right? We ran past 30 on the RSI, came back up, retested it at the blue dot, which basically just missed front running the low again. Very similar to here. And now we're just looking for our downtrend break on the RSI. I'm really watching this as a key signal, for ETH to start swinging back to the upside. And I think this could play. I think this looks really good. That plus we also have, we have our bull div. We made lower lows on price, but we made a higher low on the RSI. That's a good promising start to a bullish divergence on the RSI on the ETH daily. So the ETH daily looks very good to me. Under the hood. I mean, price action doesn't look pretty, but it didn't look pretty here. And look what we got. You know what I mean? Kind of like a triple bottom, and then we went. So, can we make this third bottom down here? Yes. Or we could even make it up here, and RSI breaks out, and then ETH continues playing this nice falling wedge we have here. We bounced off this confluent level down here. We're also above, this key level here. If we can stay above basically this 23.5 level, I think we're in good shape here to start working on making higher lows and start to break on this wedge. But ultimately, we got to get back into this range. That's really what this test here is key. We could reject here, but we got to get back inside this range in order to continue higher. That's our key market structure that we have. So this is what we're watching. This is what you got to watch. But under the hood, things look promising and are all kind of lining up for an ETH move to finally start possibly bottoming here. So, I mean, it looks good to me. What are your thoughts on that, Tommy?
I mean, my thoughts on ETH. I'm not in a hurry to call bottom on it. I'd rather just express bullishness through different charts. Right. Like, because I do think we can, like, ETH can make a big move and still be in a downtrend. Right. That's the difficult thing for me with ETH right now, is that other altcoins can drastically outperform it. So I do think that this is a good spot to look for an inflection point. I'm sure there are divs on it and everything. If we can't break back above the highs of August, then I would say that's a rough look. But realistically, I think that ETH still needs to reclaim more like 3K to look really good, well, not really good, but just like it. I would say the downtrend's probably over at above 3K.
Basically,
But yeah, I mean, I think there are other strong altcoin charts that reflect that ETH could be putting in a local low here as well, and I don't want to ignore that, right? Like you look at ETH beta, some of the ones that Tucker's already highlighted, things like Landwolf, for example, looks incredible. Pepe and Mog kind of look a lot like ETH, but I think something like Wolf, and then not necessarily ETH beta, but still high beta and a meme coin, Popcat looks phenomenal. So there are assets that I think do look really bullish and could point to a local low on ETH being in. I'm just not really interested in picking the bottom on that asset specifically.
Yeah, and I would agree. There's so much weight on it right now. I mean, like personally, I'm not holding any, but I am holding ETH beta. And it looks like the beta plays are starting to catch bottoms earlier than ETH. Which is good, and that's also another confluence sign. I'm saying there's a lot of confluence. That means there's a lot of different factors, different pieces of the puzzle that are coming together. Like same thing with Pepe. Does it look great? No, but under the hood, you know what? RSI is making higher lows. You know what I mean? And we're coming into this basically the apex of this nice giant falling wedge we've been forming. This looks like a pressure cooker. You got one, bull divs. You're coming into the apex here of this wedge. And we basically, once we get back above this horizontal, it's game back, game on for Pepe once again. So a lot of setups are coming to a head here. And we're coming right into these FOMCs, which have historically proved to be kind of pivot points in the market. I posted this last night, actually, which basically this is each black line represents every FOMC meeting we've had this year. And basically what it comes down to is I saw that like basically whatever the general trend is leading, into the FOMC meeting, usually coming out of it, we kind of flip it and do the opposite. So like the general trend going into this meeting, was up. We had a nice big run up, went into the FOMC, and then after the FOMC, price kind of fell and we bled down. Bleeding into that next FOMC, what did we see? We saw a reversal or pivot, and then we started to head back to the upside. Same thing, heading back to the upside, leading into the next FOMC meeting. What happened? We bled all the way from that meeting all the way to the middle. Here we actually flipped trend, in between meetings, but this general trend was kind of up going into this FOMC. And once again, right after the FOMC, we got our big capitulation and we started to make lower highs, leading into this one. So, I mean, if this pattern continues and FOMC continues to be that pivot point for the market, I see no reason why we can't, push out of here for BTC and the rest of the market. It's pretty clear to me. This is like very simple pattern recognition, but, this works. Sometimes simple's better,
Simple
it's a big
is
Fed meeting.
better.
It's a big Fed meeting.
Mm-hmm.
This one in particular, I think, has extra importance, right? Because if we get 25 bips, the market's probably going to rip.
Yeah.
If we get 50 bips, market is. I don't think the market would digest 50 bips positively, personally. I know there's some people who disagree with that statement, but I don't think that history really reflects 50 basis points are digested very positively, at least initially. Although
I agree initially. It would probably be decently turbulent initially. I don't think it would be horrendous, but I don't think it would be great in the short term, even though they are trying to price it in. But
I think people would be betting on further rate cuts beyond that because they'd assume that something's broken. And I think that it would just be done after 50 basis points, more than likely.
You think if they cut 50, they're not cutting again?
Yeah, no, I think they'd be done for a while.
How long?
Well, let's look at TLT. I've always said to you guys, I think that TLT looks like the inverted Bitcoin top from 2021. I still feel that way.
It does.
Well, Tommy,
sure.
Let's see it.
Yeah, pull up your screen, Tommy.
I'll pull up my screen. Let me.
This Andy chart's pretty sexy.
My Andy chart.
mean, yours might
Yeah,
be. I've never seen it, Tommy.
Never seen it.
All right, hold up. I'm pulling up TLT. You guys get the boomer. Is it the window? Yeah, there we go. Nice. All right. This just like this is the inverted Bitcoin top to me, man. When I see this
From May.
from here.
From May, yeah.
So if you were to just like, oh my god,
1, 2,
sorry.
3,
Use
lower
my
high.
mouse.
So like a 3 drive.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, enjoy that. But you can do it. You can do it. Just take some time. There we go. There we go.
I didn't know you
I'm
could
gonna
flip them like that.
Louis, you got a lot to learn, brother.
Or I just don't gotta play with fractals.
Yeah. No, this does look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Well, that means we got one more dip to the low. We got one more drive.
Like this makes me think they're gonna cut 50 and then just keep it there for a long time.
You really think like after like the last 2 years of how they've done things, you think they're gonna surprise? I mean, I guess now it's technically not a surprise to the market, but I feel like it still would be a shock to the market. Like I feel like they haven't done anything like that in the last year and a half. I feel like they've been very clear, concise, and telepathing what they're gonna do. I feel like that's not very characteristically of of Jerome to do that.
The last year they've been very telegraphed. I mean, the last time they didn't really telegraph a move, I'm trying to think, it might have been more like 2022, which I'm not, that doesn't, like, I don't really have any thoughts on that necessarily. I agree with you, Louis. They have been mostly very telegraphed. I'm trading this chart and I still continue. I mean, this just looks like it's about to break higher, doesn't it? Even with that RSI. Like, it's just a slow grind up.
Yeah, no, I like that. It looks like a bottom.
Fractal aside.
Trying to bottom at least.
Structure break.
Unless that's
Got
a swing
highs
fail.
to raid here.
It'd be a shame if it swung fail.
That would be a shame because then TLT's coming all the way back down here.
Yeah, it needs that third drive. That's only a 2 driver.
Yeah, I think this is a slow grind, man, into a market structure break. And I still just kind of lean that we're going to take these highs at some point here over the next few weeks. But then I think they're going to keep it there, right? Like people overreact to potentially 50 bips and then, right, they just keep it there for almost 2 years or for like a year and a half. I don't know. I just see the pattern. As far as like why the Fed would do it, I don't really have a good reason for you. I would just trade the chart, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm not in the business of trying to guess what they're going to do, but I mean, regardless, everything else is what I'm looking at, it still points to, higher eventually, moving into Q4 and early Q1 2025. So that's how I got to play it.
Yeah, if we do get 50 tomorrow, I'm pretty curious to see how the market reacts to that, like what happens. And I don't think you can gauge it by a day. You probably need to feel it out by like a week. Okay, what are we doing a week from a 50 basis point cut? If we're still ripping, then it's like, okay, well, new paradigm, we're just going to rip on cuts, and it's probably, I would imagine if we are ripping on cuts, it's because Powell said something about the guidance that was inherently bullish.
See, that's what's important is the guidance, the dot plot, what comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Like because he could make 25 seem bearish and he could probably make 50 seem somewhat bullish if he goes about it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like that's probably more important than solely the data point alone. Is the dot plot, honestly, and what expectations and guidance are for the next 12 months. But I'm gonna have to steal this.
Me.
Yeah, just because we have to. Where is it? Yep, there she is.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I haven't seen the soybean chart in like 3 or 4 shows.
yeah.
What have you guys done?
What are they at?
130 likes for 350. That's like less than a third of you almost.
Jeez, man.
Shame.
Damn.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, don't take it off the soybeans until they start hitting the like
let's
button.
go. I gave you guys the daily RSI alpha. I gave you guys the bottoming signals. I gave you guys the FOMC pivot points. What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want? I'm here enjoying my coffee.
I had a bagel yesterday, Louis. It was pretty good.
How was it?
Not quite New York style, but it was good.
I still gotta send out some bagels to the boys.
Yeah, send me some. Do you have any like special? What's your favorite flavor of cream cheese? I have to ask.
I would have to say a veggie. I'm a veggie guy.
Interesting.
Yeah, give me like an everything toasted with veggie.
Veggie, bro.
Yeah,
Come
bro.
on, Louis.
Tucker's like, that's un-American.
Yeah,
yeah, that is un-American, bro. Veggie.
What do you want? Like
I used to be
hot dog cream cheese?
No, as a kid, I was a strawberry cream cheese enjoyer.
Yeah, I don't do sweet stuff for breakfast.
Yeah,
I'm really not a
like
big
those
sweet
coffees too. Like I'm like a black coffee and like just give me like eggs and toast.
Eggs and bacon.
Yeah.
Steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs. Yeah.
Bottoms in.
Or you can go with the soy toasted cream cheese.
Oh no, he's lagging a little bit.
Yeah, we're losing him.
Oh no. Come back to us, Tommy.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah, Robert gets it. Louis sounds like Joe Pesci. All right, what are we at now? What are we at?
160 something. We got to get to at least 200, guys. Pump the likes. It helps us spread the word. We got to spread the good word.
Wow, 200. That's no small feat, Louis.
There's 300 and something people watching. It's easy.
I know. I want to change it real bad because crypto is doing stuff. I'll just look at it on another tab because you guys don't deserve.
Wants to watch crypto pump. Crypto finally pumps, and no one likes the stream.
Ain't really leave, but I'm back.
Oh, he's back. Man.
It's a VPN, so occasionally it'll do that.
Would love to close this 4 hour above 60.9. Would love it. Absolutely love it. But we'll see. 10 minutes, boys. 10 minutes.
Fuck, boys, we're closing.
Fuck, boys, we are closing imminently.
All right, 17 more likes. I'm literally holding you guys hostage. I'm pulling a jacket. Wow, look at that bounce in soybeans.
Who could have foreseen? Literally. Look at that. Come on, study. I said the bottom was in moments ago. Literally moments ago. Oh, that you might get turned around a little bit, but wow.
I feel like markets like these would be so easy to trade. Like easier at least. Like you don't have like predatory like crypto market makers just coming for your stops. I feel like it's just more of a natural market.
You got the
give me soybeans on
bang. Yeah, you might have some trouble here.
10 more likes. Pump it. Let's go.
Damn it! I just removed all my indicators. That's unfortunate. What are we at?
190. Do we let him slide?
No. They can hit the like button.
Yeah.
I'll hit the. I don't know
Dude,
if I.
I'll even
Five-
like it. You
five
guys
more.
know.
Wait, you haven't hit? Go hit the like button, Tommy.
I have hit the like button.
I always pre-like it. Pre-like the stream.
I have
That's the
one more
alpha.
account I could hit the like button from. I could get us to 200, but that would reward bad behavior.
Yeah.
Does anybody trade futures on Coinbase Advance? I do not, but
I do not. Yeah.
Coinbase Advance just made me think of a Game Boy. I don't know why.
Game Boy
Anybody
Advance.
can relate to that? Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, of course. 203. All right, we're off the soybeans. We're off.
There
the
we
soybeans.
go.
Let's go back to the
Good shit, guys.
candles. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's go to Bitcoin. Actually, let's go to the 15-minute. Actually, let's go to this. Hold on.
We got the close up here.
Boom. Let's go to the old terminal, boys.
Oh, there it is.
Crazy. Shorts actually were smart. Actually, no, they weren't. They closed right here, and everybody longed this, and then got massacred. These guys were indeed rewarded, though. And then they were closing. Wow, some smart longs, huh?
Can you explain this to me like I'm like a 3-year-old?
Look at these. These guys were closing their longs. Well, or it was people shorting. It was probably people shorting. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead.
So the funding rate, what does that mean when it's green and big?
People are long, people are short. Okay. Net.
So green means long,
Net.
red means short.
You could also have like if funding's going positive, shorts could be closing. If funding's going negative, theoretically longs could be getting liquidated too, because like in the same way that shorts are sell pressure for the market that turns funding negative, so are liquidated longs.
Yeah. So here funding's coming down. We need more information though. So we're gonna go.
That's short though. Like if you're moving up and funding's going down like that, it's more than likely shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
Short
People were
closing.
probably like, this is what we need to, funding coming up or open interest coming up, funding coming down. People are shorting the market. Shorting the market, shorting the market. They get blown out.
Get wrecked.
Now it's probably people getting long, right?
Yeah.
Open interest spiked, funding is going up. People are getting FOMOing into the pump, unfortunately. But that's just the way it is.
I mean, I really wouldn't be shorting. Like, I feel like if you are a bear, it doesn't really make sense to be shorting anything until ETH catches up to Bitcoin, because that's usually like the last rotation you get before a downside rotation, right? Because Bitcoin moves first and then ETH will catch up within its structure almost always. So what happens is people think ETH is lagging, they short it, and then ETH catches up, those shorts get blown out. And then that's been like our recipe for a local top recently. So like, I mean, I personally wouldn't be shorting until after FOMC anyway, but yeah, I mean, more power to them if they want to, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't really be shorting here. Even though I'm kind of still biased towards some downside, I wouldn't be shorting here.
I just wouldn't be trading at all around this event. I've learned my lesson the hard way.
Coinbase is bidding. Sailors on the buttons.
That's bullish. I like that.
This is spot, Coinbase spot.
That's great. That's a great sign.
You want to see it not great sign though?
There's that Binance spot.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, they started
How they
bidding.
did.
They started bidding. Wow,
That's
that's actually uber bullish, Tommy. You know
Yeah.
that's bullish. Binance is bidding on spot.
Bam.
Wow.
Shorts
Will
get
it
wrecked.
sustain? Will it sustain? I'm sure they're going to push it to shorts here because a lot of people like lows like last night's are such bait. They're such bait. We've had them a few times within these structures, man. It's like they just absorb shorts for about 6 to 12 hours and then they run it up in New York.
Yeah, see, this is Binance spot though for the last like 5 months, right? This is why we can't have nice things right here. Okay. This is why we can't go up because they are just nuking spot over the
Tucker,
last like 6 months.
can you look at quarterly futures for Bitcoin on Binance and really more so Binance? Oh, not on the, it's a trading view thing. Trading view.
Okay, hold up. Let me switch it back.
This is specific to trading view, unfortunately.
What am I typing in?
Type in Bitcoin. Go to futures, the section, and type Bitcoin.
It's under agriculture. It's set on agriculture.
Agriculture.
There we go. Can you hit the expand button? Just click on both of those. Sometimes, okay, so here's some alpha for the audience. Actually, sometimes these are legitimately alpha. This one might not be. Can you check the other one?
That's crazy though. Look at that. I mean, I think that's more aggressive of an actual downtrend than is the regular Bitcoin chart. But hang on, let's see. Wait. December.
Yeah.
When did this
So
open?
if you flip the origin point of that contract, you're probably going to trend.
Let's see.
Because if obviously we can't go back to previous data, but the ETF rally, I want to say in March. Was it in March? Let me look at the Bitcoin chart. It was in crap. I can't remember exactly when it was, but it might have been, I think, the contract that began on January 1st. Like when you flip that level, you deviated below that level for the ETF sell-off, and then when you flip that level, you basically went straight up in a straight line. So there is alpha in these quarterly futures contracts. I'm sure there's some positioning as it relates to this that makes that so, but from like a TA standpoint, you can kind of play it horizontally, right? Like the contract origin, or like really that initial consolidation right around the beginning of the contract's launch will probably be important levels for the market.
Jeez. This is a clean chart. Yeah, 66K, flip it, see ya. Is this $1,000 higher than? Yeah, this is a little more, $1,100 higher than spot. Interesting. 2 minutes, boys. That's right. That's right. I feel like Evan Casey. 2 minutes until the 4-hour close. Come on, baby. I like that line, but I also like this line. Okay. You close above all those, maybe pull back to like right here. And then send it.
I almost feel like they blow Bitcoin off. Not gonna lie, like locally, you could get a really big candle in the next day or so.
Lots of liquidity above us. Bring up the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have your terminal prepared, Louis?
I don't, but I can.
Prepare it.
Okay.
Prepare the terminal, Louis.
Prepare the terminal.
If we close green in 2 mins, can I 20x long? That's on you, brother. No, what does that mean? Like, no, that would be on you, brother. Whatever. God. Yeah, I could see something like that, but wait, what's the timer at? Did we close? Oh boy, we did. We did indeed. Yeah. Wow. What a 4-hour candle we just put in, boys. Beauty. Absolute beauty.
All right, so we got a nice chunk at 61.4.
I'm pulling you up, Louie.
61.4.
61.4.
Yeah, we're blasting through that.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we're there like right now. So
yeah, 61.6. You got a nice little chunk.
Honestly, some sort of like candle to 63 or 64 within 24 hours wouldn't be shocking.
Study the terminal heat map.
I think what's key is if you get a candle like that you find a bid after.
that you pull back and get a little bid.
Yeah, you don't want to just squeeze the shorts and then just bleed out.
Yeah, just cheat. Yeah.
You don't think we're coming back for this, right?
Elizabeth Warren is going to get us 75 bips, send it to the moon.
You gotta switch to Coinbase. What do you guys use for the heat maps? Do you find it better being Coinbase or Binance?
I don't know. I'm usually on the Binance chart on there. But I would do like 3 month.
Yeah, I'm trying to. There it is.
Look at this. Look at the juice. Where's the juice?
It's all up here.
70 fans. That's where the juice is.
You even got some here at 67. Surprisingly, not as much at this level than I would think.
Well, those people all put their stops at 67.
Yeah, they got squeezed here probably. Yeah.
Yeah. This is true.
Yeah, look at this.
Look at that.
We're
Look at
coming
the juice.
We're coming for that.
Tommy, how do you interpret the liquidity stuff?
Well,
Like, does it?
there's
Does
a
it
lot.
just not
There's a
matter?
lot of liquidity up there. You know, I won't say that they're just liquidations. And I've been thinking about it a lot, honestly, like over the last few weeks. I think to some degree it's kind of like weighing price down a little bit because there's not really any way that we can lift it, right? So if somebody just bid it up into those asks, they're not going to be able to lift it. What would happen is we would just reject again, probably a lot harder. So I think it's what we want to see is just kind of a slow grind up into those stops or just the removal of the asks completely. So
Wait. Are those asks or are those
both?
They're both.
They're both, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, so it's not just liquidation.
No, I'm pretty sure it's asks as well.
So like stops.
No, the liquidations of the stops. I mean, those are basically what? Sell orders? Like,
it's thick.
yeah. Yeah.
So like the healthiest thing to do would be to grind up into it, chew through the asks, and then blow off. You know, once the asks prove that there's not enough supply to outweigh the demand that we're hitting on this way up, right? I mean, that to me would be the healthiest, or we get some sort of like right tail that God candles us through those asks, but that seems a little bit harder, a little bit harder to get going. I think the slow grind into resistance is really what we want. The Ray Lewis resistance.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, I would think this is going to be our fuel to push us to 80K. That's like our jet fuel.
There's just nothing below.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pain is up. And this looked the opposite when we were here. This was like flipped. You know what I mean? I mean, there was some liquidity here, but there wasn't anything here. It was all here. So we came down, got that, and now it's all back here. So it's like they're just ping-ponging us back and forth, you know? But it's upside's turn.
What else do you guys want to look at?
Let's see. I'm surprised on a day like today that something like Nvidia is not higher.
Nvidia's not higher.
Really, why isn't the NASDAQ leading the market higher?
What's leading? The IWM.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the NASDAQ is technically up more than the S&P, but the S&P is at all-time highs, and the NASDAQ still hasn't even broken the high from August 2nd, which is strange because it's usually the opposite. What's the DJI doing?
What is that? Yeah, I was gonna say, what are they bidding then? Yeah, they're bidding DJI. My goodness.
Ooh.
That looks phenomenal. What does it look like? Where? I mean, it does look like it kind of looks like January of '99. Or I mean, dude, you're just in parabola. Like, go look at 95 to 2000. Like, DJI is in there. It's just sending.
You know what chart we should look at, Tucker? Popcat.
I'll pull a Popcat. Doing its thing. What's it up? 6% today? Not bad. Mog up more. Huh?
It looks explosive. I like that chart.
It does look
Dude,
explosive.
if this chart cannot break out, we are cooked.
Yeah.
Like that is the most bullish crypto chart I can find.
What's the market cap on Popcat?
738 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it could be breaking out of a range that it's been in for effectively 6 months if it breaks higher here, which is why I like it.
Yeah, you could I mean, you've got the higher lows, right? But if it's not a deviation, it's going to send.
I can't really find a better looking coin than that. I mean, like there are maybe some small caps that look as good, but as far as like market caps that are 700 mil or like $1 billion that look as bullish as Popcat, I can't really find them.
I pulled this on Tau.
Another low. Don't tell me that.
10,000 by June. No, I was just looking at like this. Right. How it would have like come into support right here. somewhat similar. Probably not. Probably not, though, but
Yeah, I think they're going to take Bitcoin to like 63K today.
higher. Higher.
Don't ask me where I think ETH goes.
If if
okay.
Bitcoin goes to 63,
ETH probably swipes that high again from Saturday, if that happens. Like 2,500.
Let's see.
Probably a little pullback into like mid 60s, and then you go into like 63, 64. If I were still a Euro scalper, that's how I'd be playing it.
I think you're in here, brother. I think you're in there. Oh shit. There.
I hate that we blew the ETF catalyst so quickly for ETH.
Yeah.
It was nice for a pump, but we need a trend.
Well, that's what Bitcoin did. It's the same thing. Pump, dump, and then the real pump.
Yeah.
Less of a
But
pump.
you got the ETF. Bitcoin was front running its ETF.
Yeah, we didn't even get that.
Yeah.
Well, no, that pump to the left where Tucker marked in green, that was like the announcement that we were going to get a ETF.
No, I
and
know.
then the pump to the right was like ETF launch. So, yeah.
That
What,
was
this?
my best trade of this year so far was that ETF trade.
This was the ETF launch.
Yeah. Yeah. To the left was the ETF announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at outflows in a while. I wonder what Grayscale's at.
They're still yeeting, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Let's check it. So they've cheated 2.75 million out of the 9 million. Billion. 2.7 billion out of the 9 billion.
So they got a lot to go, is what I'm hearing. They got a
Wait,
lot
how much
left.
do they have left?
According to this, they probably have close to 6 billion left.
Jesus.
Lovely. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, I just know somewhere Barry is upset. He doesn't have the same liquidity to sell into that he did for Bitcoin. Oh, yeah. Dang, man. What a market.
I don't know what impression the comment section is under, but at least me and Max and Louie and a lot of others here are giga long ETH beta. Longer than you'll ever be. Okay.
Yeah.
So pipe down.
More bulled up.
Pipe down. Longer than you'll ever be. All right. Moving on. They want to know if Pepe is going to hit 100 billion, Tommy.
I mean,
no.
He said no. Louis,
I mean,
okay to dream.
how long is the cycle? How long is the cycle, right? If we're going into like, if it's 2025 now, you're not hitting 100 billion, in my opinion. I think, as I've said, I think part of that is not just like time and price, but time and digestion. Like crypto is overcoming this. People call it the wall of worry. I will call it the wall of cringe because I love crypto. I love all my friends in crypto. From the outside looking in, people have very strong opinions about our space, and some of them are accurate. I can't even hate. For valuations of coins to get that high, you need time. Like crypto needs to become less cringe, and it's not going to do that just from price appreciation. You literally need time. So if the cycle stretches out into like 2027 to 2028, maybe even further than that, right? Like we get some sort of 2015 or 2013, I'm saying that right, 2013, 2015 style, like double pump, then I think you could have something that stretches out like 3 or 4 years down the line, and Pepe could go very, very high. 100 billion, that's still a lot. I think something that's going to really benefit meme coins on a higher time frame is eventual UBI. I assume that will probably happen during the next presidency to some capacity. And what are people going to do with their UBI? They're probably going to speculate on meme coins. That is the ultimate end game for the meme coin super cycle thesis, by the way, at least in my opinion. It's going to be people getting UBI and wanting to hyper gamble their way out of their current situations in the same way that COVID, created that altcoin mania that we saw in the spring of 2021. So do I think Pepe will get to 100 billion? Probably not. I think the longer the cycle goes, the higher likelihood it has of happening because there's more likely to get the liquidity necessary to do that. What if Doge goes to like $5? I don't know. I really don't know what to think about Doge here, guys. Actually, I kind of do. This is an echo bubble for Doge. It's coming to an end. Do I think there can be two meme coins that are like over 100 billion market cap, though? I don't know. I really don't. That's a lot harder to say. I'm bullish on the space. I don't know if you have that much liquidity coming in to bid meme coins. But if Doge went to $5, I can't even imagine like what that would do for the rest of the meme coin market. What would that even make the Doge market cap? Like
$5. So what? A 10x from here is $1. It's at 15 bill. That's 150 times 5. Geez, 600 billion. No, it'd be 600 bill.
Yeah, it's like 3/4 of a trillion almost, or 2/3 of it. That's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, if that happens, I guess all bets are off, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen or not.
Yeah. I think the more realistic target for Pepe is that like 50 to 75 range. And I am in the camp that the cycle will not be ending in 2025. So I think you probably get it in like maybe 2027 or 2028. Just my guess.
$1,022. 1,022. Okay. Yeah. We're there, man. We're there. We're here on Doge. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, 167. What's that?
Yeah, you could totally just put the Nasdaq tech bubble fractal on the Doge chart if you wanted to.
I mean, I don't think you're going to get
an impossible target. What?
You're not going to get a 30,000% move out of Doge this time, obviously, but
no.
Because what would that be? Wait.
Maybe 1,000.
$26. Oh my god!
Yeah, no shot.
No,
Tucker, go to the Nasdaq and grab the tech bubble, the echo bubble on the tech bubble. You don't have to get the whole thing because it'll be harder to fit that way. But
what echo bubble?
The tech echo bubble.
Where?
You can just draw it from the top.
What echo bubble?
On the Nasdaq, the echo bubble in 2007 and 2008.
That's not an echo, brother. That's just a bubble.
That was an echo bubble.
Where's the echo on this chart?
Further in 2007 and 2008. What do you mean? That's the
This?
echo bubble. How many altcoin charts look like they're right there, somewhere in that vicinity right now? Like if you were to just copy and paste the tech bubble and the echo bubble, along with all of the PA since we've had since then, like how many charts would? I mean, I'm not saying that every chart's going to do that because obviously some of it's garbage and it's not coming back, but the winning ones probably will. Don't do it in log because it'll be impossible to like the target won't make any sense. But oh
But see,
no,
then this happens. How bad is it? Oh, it's bad. It's real bad. No, we're gonna do it though. Oh yeah. Study
tune in
conviction.
for tomorrow's episode of Market Check where you can watch me and Tucker try to fit more of these.
Yeah. Seriously. Okay, so what are we talking about here? You're
You
saying
line
you
up
just did like that? Oh shit.
if you could do that with a lot of different altcoin charts right now, right? Like Cardano looks the exact same. A lot of the Dino coins look like this chart basically.
What, like that
But
basically?
I'm just saying, if you want to extrapolate a target, this is probably how I would do it.
Slow grind higher from here.
Trying to, I mean, good enough, right? Like
Basically,
this green box
right.
you're saying is where you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just a slow grind.
So
back
now
to
it's
the
gonna
altcoin.
go. So basically, hold on. We got to put this side by side. Basically, what we're saying, let's go weekly. What's on here? You're saying we're gonna do this for the next long time.
Basically, we're somewhere at the end of the echo bubble, and eventually that this is the super cycle thesis for me, is how many charts look like that.
Yeah, but I know you got this fractal fit like this.
I will tell you how I have
down a little bit.
I think if you're going to be able to fit it, because I've tried to fit it on so many charts and it just doesn't really work, you kind of have to take it from like a very specific part of the fractal. But
well, yeah, because the problem I have with it is like this, like you bounced and then you were like in a pretty good uptrend, then you had 2008, then you went like this. You
the
just
PA is a
on
lot
the
more
floor.
index versus shitcoiny.
Yeah.
But I think the timeline is really more so what to be watching for, right? Like the echo bubble has ended or it's ending as we speak, and we're about to be literal super cycle. This is what I've always been saying, and people say, I'm like, what do you mean super cycle? Don't say super cycle. But I think people are missing the point, which is that from a timing standpoint, a lot of these charts, like an echo bubble is part of their cycle. And if they're a good coin, when they come back, like the next wave of really crypto assets that pump are going to pump like crazy. So
see, but you think that this has already happened, and I don't think it has.
I think it's happened in crypto. I would argue that equities, more so AI, are about to cycle through it again.
Is NDQ going to give me more data? No. What about NQ? NQ and log. Wow, look at that. That's kind of what you talked about, right? With the origin. Once you get above the origin, see you later.
Look at ES too. It's
Yeah.
it's just as interesting, I think, from the origin point.
Wow.
And I think you can actually kind of fit fractals based off that, because this is actually the pattern that we've talked before about, Tucker, where you have You have the consolidation. We have breakout. You probably have like 2 consolidations above it. And then we haven't quite hit, in my opinion, that parabolic leg to the upside yet on equities. But it's a little bit difficult because it is an index. It's not going to trade like a shitcoin. Or maybe it will, right? Depending on your perspective.
I just don't think you've had this level of like new tech adoption or whatever in crypto yet. Because obviously, like Bitcoin's not going to look like the S&P in terms of like 4-year cycles where it's just on the log chart. I mean, maybe on the log chart, right? But on the regular chart where it's just, you know, I don't think you've had this. You think we've had this move right here out of crypto?
In 2021, maybe not. It might not have felt like it on Bitcoin because we didn't quite go like, 100x, but the altcoin market absolutely did.
Like what chart? Like
All
total
of the
3?
altcoin charts. I mean, almost all of the altcoin charts from last cycle look literally insane when you take off log.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
look at
that's a big
something like
move.
FTN. Look at all the layer 1 charts, man. I mean, they marked up hundreds of X's.
I know, but we need an index somewhat, right? Like you need to use like total or something.
Yeah, total excluding Bitcoin and
I mean,
ETH or something.
that's not a small move, obviously.
I mean, that's what like total was where during COVID.
I mean, but bro, if anything, you're like here, right? Like you see that? You're not even above. Yeah, I don't know. Or like especially on total, right? And not Bitcoin, you're like there before the just boom. Like it feels like you'd be at one of these corrections, not here, right? Don't you think? Like you'd be there or there or there. Like it doesn't,
I don't know. I don't know. I think ETH looks more like its later stage, and some altcoins look like they could still be wanting to pump, right? It's
My
kind of like a
God.
different picture across the crypto market.
Huge fan of yours, brother. Huge fan. Keep getting them, Chris Jones. Keep getting them. Wow.
Okay, so
That's crazy.
the thesis is entirely based on cyclicality, guys. It's like the NASDAQ chart is more or less kind of what I'm basing it off of, where you had the tech bubble, huge speculation, right? Huge. I mean, largely because you had just so much liquidity rolling around, small caps popping off, tech popping off. It's not that different from what we saw in 2021, where you had this speculative frenzy fueled by, in crypto, it was definitely fueled by a lot of innovation, right? Especially in the DeFi space. And I think the total DeFi chart would probably be a better representation of the NASDAQ chart if you want to take a look at it. But yeah, like DeFi really led innovation in crypto in 2021. There was a lot of liquidity. It basically allowed for people to speculate on any and everything, which is not dissimilar to what we saw during the tech bubble. And the flip side of that is obviously our second run up, right? Our echo bubble. You look at total DeFi looks almost exactly like the NASDAQ in the sense that it didn't make all-time highs, despite the fact that you had stronger assets within markets, for example, like the DJI and the S&P in equities back in the 2000s versus now Bitcoin for the crypto market. Those assets were still able to make an all-time high, but the super speculative stuff, the stuff that really benefited from liquidity conditions being very favorable, has not quite come back just yet. But I think the broader picture for crypto is positive, right? I mean, people can, like, I will shit on ETH because I don't like ETH and of course all this other stuff, but it's just kind of funny to do. But I'm very bullish on the future of crypto. And I feel like you have to be, because you look at, I mean, we talked about this before, the future of the fundamentals of crypto have never really been brighter for things like Bitcoin. And I think the the advent of user apps are becoming a bigger and bigger thing. So like we went through our tech bubble phase where you had a lot of garbage pump. A lot of it's not going to come back. And you're seeing that now develop into a period where a lot of quality is being built. It might not be priced the same way that it was in 2021, but just like, after the tech bubble, there was a lot of value that was mispriced because I think people had the incorrect view on tech. Maybe that was because of liquidity. Maybe that was because of, I think it's a lot of both, right? I mean, people were very skeptical of tech after the tech bubble popped, in the same way that I just said, there's a wall of cringe we have to climb with crypto in order to get back up to our previous height. So I think it's kind of a lot of mixtures of those things. That's just my thoughts on where we are cyclically, but I don't think that the entire market's about to go through like a massive, multi-year recession. But I do think what I see from things like crypto signal an echo bubble has already popped or is in the process of popping. And as we know, the demand for something like Bitcoin is going to be persistent for the next few decades. And I think that's enough of a tailwind for a lot of these crypto apps and crypto assets that will inevitably have utility, right? Something like an AVE. DeFi will come back. If ETH is going to come back, it's going to have to be through DeFi. These assets will continue to catch a bid in the future. But obviously, just because a chart has an echo bubble does not mean it's about to go through a super cycle. I think we're in the process of sifting through what just benefited from liquidity with what actually has quality and staying power over a longer period of time.
Wait, is this actually Chris Jones, bro? You know how unbelievable that would be? Chris, if this is you, I'm from Kansas City, brother. Huge fan. Huge fan. That'd be wild. But
you see this?
Does Chimp think the super cycle is here? It's a good question.
Man, oh man. I like our Chimp better than the one most of CT knows.
Oh yeah.
Here nor there.
Yes,
and yes. To answer this comment, people were talking about super cycles in the past. I think they were early. I think they got caught up in
cycle too early.
I mean, everybody who was bullish on tech in the tech bubble, a lot of people got absolutely wrecked, and they were still right. I mean, they might not have been holding the right assets to realize that they were right, but the thesis was correct. And I think crypto is the same way, because I do think there is a place in markets and in the world for crypto, but that's another conversation. That's my thesis. But I think that's a good spot to wrap up the show. What do you think, guys?
Do it. Let's do it.
All right. We've been cooking for about an hour and a half, guys. If you enjoyed the stream, or even if you didn't, we would be very appreciative if you could hit that like button for us on your way out. But a few housekeeping measures before we officially finish up. A reminder, guys, that we have launched our new SEC registered hedge fund, BB Wealth Management, that is focused on digital assets, of course, in a way that looks to capture their asymmetric history for upside returns while also balancing the downside risk posed in any market. So if becoming an LP or an accredited investor maybe is something that interests you, we have more information linked in the description below. Maybe you're interested in having me, Max, Tucker, Jackus, one of us manage your money for you, or obviously we manage it as a team. But if that interests you, we do have more information linked in the description below. Just reach out to us via email. We'll get back to you as quickly as we can. We also have the BB Academy, guys, which, as I will continue to hammer home every day, you give us amazing feedback on it, which we love to hear, because we put a lot of time into it. We put a lot of thought into it. And ultimately, we want to give you the best value for your money. It's not very often that you can learn from so many different traders with very stylistic differences in the way that they approach the market, analyze, and ultimately trade. So if enrolling in the BB Academy is something that interests you, maybe you're looking to hone your educational base a little bit further. Maybe you are looking to reach trading mastery. BB Terminal or not the BB Terminal, the BB Academy has a place for you. So make sure to check that out. That is in the description as well. And as we have been highlighting on these shows, guys, really over the last like week and a half, the BB Terminal is also out. It is in beta still, and we are continuing to make it the best possible product, but prices on it will go up as we continue to, you know, really hone it and make it the best possible product that money can buy, right? Like that the market can see. So we are very excited to bring that to you all. We're very pleased with how it has turned out, and obviously the reception that it's gotten thus far. I use it pretty much every day, and I think that there is a lot of useful data syndication across pretty much all time frames, right? So I really think there is a lot of utility for just about any trader looking to use the terminal. But yeah, check that out as well, guys. We do have that linked in the description below. Very, very excited to finally bring that product to market. Of course, like I said, we are going to continue to work to make that the best possible product that you can find. If you enjoyed Market Check today, we will be back for another episode tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's usually when we are live. Whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open, it should be your expectation that you will see us bright and early in the morning. Market Talk with King Wabi. We also have that show running as well, only that is on our Twitter, is on our x.com account. Sorry, not Twitter, rather than YouTube. Wabi does an exceptional job with that show. So if you're looking for some sort of fix on the market, maybe you enjoyed Market Check, you're like, man, I really want to hear some more market talk, pun intended, make sure to tune in for Wabi's show later this afternoon and every afternoon. Make sure to stay following and subscribed to our X account so you can be notified, not just when we schedule those spaces, but also when we go live. But that's it from us. Thank you all so much for being here. As always, y'all have a great rest of your Tuesday, a great rest of your week. And yeah, as always, stay safe, guys. Thanks again.